Okay, we we have a lot to talk about, but since you brought it up, let me just ask you this, because it made me think. You were working on Saturday. You were working with Tyron Woodley. Tyron Woodley has become somewhat of a polarizing figure in the sport. No, in all seriousness, is there anything to what he's been saying as of late? Do you feel I'm just curious, as a black champion, and you've been around longer than him, and you've been a champion longer than him, is there anything to what he's been saying as of late, in your opinion? Have you experienced anything like this?
Experienced champions, you understand? And everything Tyron is saying, he truly does believe.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
We can't tell him how to feel, So, in his estimation, he feels as though he has been mistreated.
Okay, real quick point. People always make fun of people with landlines. Huh? I got one now. I can call on it. No more breaking up. But I said we've had different experiences as champions. So everything Tyron is saying, he truly believes, and if you believe something and you're passionate about it, you should voice it. Reality is maybe people just didn't notice, because there are a lot of guys in the UFC, and maybe they didn't notice that Tyron wasn't getting everything that he was, maybe deserves, or the opportunities that were out in front of him, and he spoke up, and now he seems to be getting it. I mean, he's getting his desk jobs a lot more, and I know he's got some more sponsorship opportunity. Yesterday he was at the Super Bowl with the boss.
Yeah.
I mean, things are turning around for him, So maybe it's just a matter of you speaking up at times. Do I feel like that it plays a part in it? I'm not necessarily sure. There are times when you don't understand certain situations. I didn't know, I didn't understand quite in New York why everybody booed him so much when he's fighting Wonder Boy. And I didn't know when he became so unlikable, because it just seemed like everybody had this venom. Speak about Tyron. Tyron's a great guy. He's a really hard worker. Dude has dealt with a lot of stuff to put himself in the position he's in, and sometimes he doesn't necessarily get his just due. So I can see how he may feel some things are not going in the way that they should.
Has he talked to you about this?
It's easy, but it's easy to see. Even he said, why didn't he get to carry the flag out in New York City? Wonder Boy did. It's easy for him to feel like that when he's the one that's getting those types of things. I've never dealt with that. I've always kind of been treated very, very well.
Did he talk to you about this behind the scenes? Did you reach out to him? Because, sometimes people don't want to hear this, even if it's the truth, and it can hurt you as far as your popularity, your branding, how much money you make. Did you guys have a heart-to-heart about this at all?
We've talked.
Okay.
Talked to Tyron, and I won't share exactly what we spoke about, but I'm sometimes I may be the guy that I really do like harmony. I like when things are going good for people. So I just want what's best for T. Wood. So in our conversation, we spoke about that, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, we have spoken about it. Because only a select few people can truly understand what he's thinking in terms of how he's feeling, and DJ and I can actually talk to him and maybe give our opinion on what he's feeling and how we are viewed and how we feel we are treated in the same exact situation.
That is good. Yeah, that is good. So last weekend you were in Denver for Fox. This past weekend you were in Houston for the FS1 card. This coming weekend you're in Brooklyn because you're a part of that three-man team for the pay-per-view, correct? You, Anik, and Joe Rogan, right?
Yeah, I am.
With all due respect, if I'm Anthony Johnson, I'm sitting back and saying, this is great. This is amazing. When is DC training? In fact, I was talking to Ali Abdelaziz, Rumble's new manager, and I brought up the whole issue about him training Khabib at your gym, a.k.a. you're the captain of the team, and how it's a potential conflict. And he said, it's not a conflict. DC doesn't train at the gym anymore. He trains in hotel gyms. He's not even there. So we don't have to worry about it. What do you say to those people who are doubting you?
What say you, DC? I say, Ali, you aren't allowed in the gym anymore. If he comes, I'll just beat his ass. Secondly, I was in Houston. Rumble Johnson was in Houston. So it's not like he's doing more than me. I bet I trained more than him in Houston than he did. So, yeah, I've been training on the road. Every time I bring coaches with me. When I go places, I'll have coaches in New York, And I also have friends in town. You know, I go to Henzo Gracie's gym, train with those guys in Houston. I have friends down there. I go train there. I never miss. I got off work at 1 o'clock the other day. And you know what me and my boxing coach went and did? We went and trained. It doesn't stop for me. So Abdelaziz can talk all he wants, but I know what I'm doing. Rumble was in Houston too, but
did you see him?
I doubt he was working out.
Did you see him?
No, I saw one interview he did, which was, I think, the only one. They sent out tons of requests, and nobody actually wanted to talk to him. They're like, who is this guy? Why would we want to speak to him? Is Daniel Kормie available?
Did you didn't cross paths, behind the scenes? You
Not
didn't
once.
Okay.
I went to work. Ariel, I would train at the gym in the morning, go to work, and then go back and work out and then spend time with my family. Even at Fox, I just kind of want to be to myself till I can do my thing, initially all the hotels downtown right next to the Super Bowl was sold out. So I was staying, the Fox crew, we were at a hotel like 20, 30 minutes away. And then some spots opened up on Saturday so people could move closer and kind of be in the heart of it, and I opted out. I stayed exactly where I was.
So
I stayed in the hotel far away where they didn't have a whole bunch of people to bother you. I can go work out as I see fit. I can walk around and spend time with my family. I just didn't need to be in the heart of everything that was going on.
At some point, are you going to cut off the Fox stuff, or are you going to do it all the way, through the fight?
I'm done. This is my last one in Brooklyn. So 8 weeks to the fight, I'll be done, so I can have me an 8-week training camp. So works out perfect. These last 4 weeks that I've been on the road anyway, I usually call it a pre-camp, where I do 4 weeks of just kind of getting myself back in the running and getting back in the hitting pads and sparring light and just getting ready. As opposed to just starting early. Last time Anthony and I were supposed to fight 12 weeks out, I just started going crazy, and I ended up hurting myself. So I think this is probably the best way. I get to kind of train as I can, and then I'll have 8 weeks of a hard training camp at AK.
Is there pressure on your shoulders just going into this camp, because we don't want anything to happen, right? And you've talked about this as well, and changing things up, and AK losing those 3 big fighters in the span of a couple of weeks. Like, do you feel a little more pressure, like I just need to make it to the fight this time so that there's no more criticism towards us?
I've fought 19 times. I've pulled out of 2 fights, so 17 times I've actually made the walk. The one in April was the first time I'd ever been out of a fight. This last time I just did too much. I was really pushing myself way too hard because I want to be over-prepared. I will not take an approach of I just got to get there. I'm still going to train myself, because what's the point in getting there if I'm going to lose? I don't want to lose, man. Like, I don't think it's very hard to understand the level of competitiveness that is in me, and I don't think people truly get that. I'm probably the most competitive person, so it ain't going to be him punching me upside the head and I fall down and I just don't get up. I'll keep dragging myself up. So if he's going to win, he's going to actually have to outwork me for 25 minutes, and I don't think that's possible.
He was actually on the show last week, and we asked him about the fight. Let's play a quick clip and get your take on it, all right?
Yep.
All right, here we go. Here's Rumble Johnson last week on the show. No, we don't hear it.
I actually don't hear anything.
Here. What are you leaning towards?
What is going on in this place?
Yeah, I know, man. Ass whooping. Wait. Can we start the clip over? It's kind of halfway through. Can we do that again? Let's try. And here's the clip.
April 8th. Somebody's getting fucked up.
What do you think? Are we thinking like a Glover type of knockout here? What are you leaning towards?
Ass whooping.
Ass whooping. Early one, or do you want to prolong this a little bit?
You just never know with me. Sometimes I let fights go a little bit longer than expected. Sometimes I get them over with quick.
Sometimes I get him over with quick, and it sounded to me, DC, and now we're back, it sounded to me like he's just saying it's pretty much up to what I want to do. Like, if I want to let it go long, I'll let it go wrong. But it sounds like he's fully confident that, he can pick and choose how long this fight goes. What do you think?
Man, truthfully, it just sounds like the same things that were said the first time. Before we fought, he said, I can knock him out whenever I decide to knock him out. That's what he said. He said, Daniel knows what's coming to him. I'm going to knock him out. And I'm like, I just look at that and I go, okay, well, what happens if you don't knock me out? What happens if you don't knock me out? What happens if you hit me with your best shot and I continue to press forward and I continue to engage you and I continue to stay in your face the entire time? What happens then? And we saw what happened. He rolled over, gave me his neck, and let me choke him out so he can get out of the octagon. You guys can believe, people can believe everything they want, you know. They can, you know, I love Mike Tyson. I was a fan as everybody else was. But the moment somebody stood up to him, he didn't do so well. And that's the same thing with Anthony Johnson. The guy's a bully. You know, he wants to intimidate you. He wants to dominate you. He wants to knock you out. But what happens when you don't knock somebody out? What happens? I saw this guy beat Andrei Arlovski within an inch of his life in the first round of a fight. By the end of the fight, I thought Andrei Arlovski was going to win. Dude had a broken jaw, but once he couldn't get him out of there, Andrei Arlovski just had to do a little bit more, and he could have won the fight. Come on, man. Dude ain't knocking me out.
You get excited about fighting him? Like, do you like this?
I do.
Yeah?
I do. You know why? Because I love the doubt, man. I love the fact that I get doubt. You know, John Anik's my buddy, you know, and John is a big lines guy. So every time Anthony and I are supposed to fight, the lines come out, and it's like, we're dead even. It's like people don't know what to make of a fight between Daniel Kормье and Anthony Johnson, when in reality it should be very easy to know what to make of a fight between me and Anthony Johnson. But everybody seems to question me in regards to fighting that man. And you know what? I like the guy. I think he's a great guy. I think he's a nice guy. I think he's a gentleman. He's always nice. He's always friendly. But in terms of us competitively, in the world I live in, he doesn't beat me.
Well, what about when you guys do these interviews together and it's like he's so nice to you? I asked him about this last week a little bit, and like when he put the belt on, do you feel like he tries to kill you with his kindness? Do you like that he's so nice towards you?
It doesn't really bother me. You know, again, man, I'm telling you, like, Anthony's fighting style and who he is, it's a bully type of fighting style, man. It really is. And I feel at times his personality may be that too. You know, so I think a bully will always try to be friends with the person that isn't afraid of him. That's my take on it.
Wow. So you think he's being fake?
Was that?
You think he's being fake?
No, I think he's being genuine, but I think he realizes that, well, Daniel's not afraid of me, you know, so why should I be big, you know, talk big and all this other stuff, you know what I mean? I don't like that, man. I don't it doesn't really affect me one way or the other. It's not going to change. When Anthony and I fight, it's going to be the same thing, you know. I'm going to go forward into him, and I'm going to just start to make him work and work and work and work and work, and then I'm going to win.
A lot of changes with the Black Zillions. He's changed managements and things like that. Do you feel like any of this is in your favor? There's just a lot going on in his life right now. It's a bit of a tumultuous time. Behind the scenes, do you bank on any of that, you know, coming to light in the fight where he's just not having his house in order, so to speak?
I think he has the same team as he did before. I don't think anything's changed. I think maybe Glenn is just gone. Nah, man, I don't worry about that. You know, I worry about the fight. I know that when the fight starts, he's gonna come in and he's gonna try to get his hands on me. You know, he's a guy that if I can get one good one off on you, you're going down before I go down. So I don't really pay much attention to it. You know, I mean, whatever. You know, I'm pretty sure he'll still train. You know, still be able to fight for 10. He'll still be able to fight for about 10 minutes, and then we'll be good to go. There's a difference in the training styles. There's a difference in the training styles and the fighting styles of my team and his team, right? So you saw Michael Johnson really get his hands on Khabib early, but after a while, man, that grind starts to wear on you. And if you're not built for it, you're just not built for it.
You still think he's a quitter?
Yes, I do. I don't never change. He'll give up. We've seen it too many times, though. And I mean, you're making me be very, like, kind of mean to this guy when that's not who I am to him. But it's the truth. You know what I mean?
You've said these things about him.
Point to it, Koscheck and me and Vitor and all these. I mean, it's only the truth. I'm only speaking the truth.
Dana White said, go ahead.
I'll say it in front of him, too. It's not like I won't say it in front of Anthony Johnson.
Right. Dana White said that John Jones is getting the winner. Do you like that? Do you think that's fair?
Yeah, sure, whatever. I mean, I like to fight John Jones. I mean, that's what I've been pining to do since 2000. When did we fight? 15?
Yeah.
It's been 2 years. You know, that's all I've been wanting to do is get another opportunity to fight him. So yeah, sure. You know, if you want to give him a title shot, go ahead. That's fine. I think that as long as that man has his, his affairs in order, he'll be good to go. You know, it's just very hard. It's just scary. At the end of the day, all that stuff is scary. As I'm pretty sure it is scary to Rumble to schedule to fight me because of the injury. So for me, it's just a little bit scary. You know, John and I have been scheduled to fight like 4 times. We've only fought once.
But Dana did say that he doesn't trust John to headline an event again. Does that mean if you fight again, you're not going to headline? Is that possible?
I don't think that's necessarily true. You know, I mean, we'd have to all have some discussions. I'm not going to fight Jones just on some card, you know?
Yeah.
It would have to be a certain type of card if we were going to take a co-main event type of rule, you know? So, but therein lies another issue. It's like if you I'll put it out there. John and I will not fight in a co-main event to anyone but Conor McGregor, right? I mean, that's the only way that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So therein is the problem. Now you have a whole bunch of guys who make a whole bunch of money on one fight card.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are you going to do, you know?
And do you feel like these fights, like Rumble, and hopefully it's the next one after that if you win, like, is it all to get back to John in your opinion? Is this all part of the journey, but John kind of always still lurks in the back of your mind?
It always has been.
Yeah.
You know, I said after I lost to him the first time, and we were supposed to fight in April, I said, give me the 2 toughest guys this division has to offer. At that time, it was Gustafsson and Rumble. I'll beat them so that I can get back to this guy. I did it in a year, and I was ready to fight in April, and then got the injury, and then, you know, everything that happened in July didn't allow for us to fight. So I fought Anderson. So I'm like, just get me back to where I need to be inside the octagon against Jones. That's really what it all leads to. Now, and truth is, now it's about my legacy too. You know, title defenses, wins with being the champion. That all matters to me. You know, so it's all part of the journey. But at the end of the day, I do want to get back to Jones.
Any plans of fighting at heavyweight for the belt?
Man, I think Kane's going to be the heavyweight champion again. So. Not really in the immediate, you know, that's not really in my plans. My plan is to get through Johnson and then see what's next. You know, there really aren't that many options at the weight class, especially with Bader, like, leaving, I guess. I guess Bader's leaving, so.
Are you sad about that?
There aren't many options for me in the weight class, so it's about just getting what I can in my division.
Are you sad about Bader leaving? I mean, you guys had a thing. I always wanted to see that fight.
I would have liked to have fought Bader, you know, but I respect him for doing what's best for his family. You know, his family is what comes first, and if the better offer is out at Bellator, then go ahead. You know, do what you have to do to secure your family's future. And he's got a beautiful family, man, so he has to do the right thing for his family. But, yes, I would have liked to have beat on Ryan Bader a little bit. He's just so disrespectful.